Hello again, friends. We are moving into a new super magazine. This will be our last super magazine. And then, if we have time towards the end of the year, um, we'll try reading doing some different activities, maybe in books or on Epic. But we're going to go through the last super. Um, Looks like this. It's called That's Wild. And that is a picture of a grizzly bear on the cover. So it looks like this is going to have to do with wild things, maybe living things, or things that are just a little bit crazy. Because wild can be a synonym for crazy, as far as like something that is out of the ordinary or looks a little bit nutty, crazy. So, but it also could mean a wild animal. So today is super shorts. I'm going to probably read it from my magazine that I have here, but I will show it to you on the screen. And then when you read these to yourself and get ready to answer the questions, you can look at it on Super Kids Online Fun, or you can just pause the videos, okay? So let me open it up. And before we start with the super shorts, I just want to read you what it says about the whole super. It says, "That's wild. There are wild animals and wild places. You'll be wild about the ones you read about in this issue of Super. You'll also meet an artist who has some wild ideas and learn more about the wildest thing of all, your imagination." So let's get ready and we'll look at the super shorts. Our first one is called Wigging Out. Let me just get this out of our way. Wigging Out. Hundreds of years ago, people thought it was stylish to have really big hair. Rich people often had the biggest hair because they could buy large fancy wigs. Some people were called bigwigs. Today, you don't need a huge hat to be called a bigwig. You just have to be important. So that's a word that started from really having big wigs, but now we just say, "Oh, he's a bigwig," to someone that's super important. But sometimes it's like a super important person who acts a certain way, or it just could be a way to refer to someone who's super important. Like a bigwig is someone who's in charge of something, and that's where it comes from. The wealthiest people could afford expensive wigs. I'm a big wig now. I need a haircut. That's why I have my hat on today. Big wig. Next one is Walk on the Wild Side. Walk on the Wild Side. And this one I'm going to read. I'm going to look off to the side because my screen is blocked. Those are some pretty cool shoes. We have bread, they're loafers. We have grass slippers. And then there's banana boots. How would you like a pair of banana boots? Or would you rather loaf in a pair of loafers? If you like to walk barefoot in the grass, you might want sandals with real grass growing on the soles. When it comes to funny footwear, there's no limit to what you can do. What kind of shoes would you wear if you could let your feet and your imagination run wild? Maybe you like walking in the sand, you could have sandy shoes. Maybe you like walking in the snow, and you'd have snow in your shoes, you would have cold feet. I don't know. These shoes look pretty weird to me. Kind of goofy. The banana boots look like they would be squishy. I vote against it. Maybe the grass slippers. All right, I'm going to turn the page. Funny experiment. Funny experiment. You can make eggs that will bounce. If you don't believe it, follow the steps below and see for yourself. Place a hard boiled egg in a glass. Cover the egg with vinegar. Let it soak for 3 days. Take the egg out of the water gently and rinse it with water. Drop your egg on the sidewalk. Don't try it inside in case it doesn't work. But this is something you can try if mom or dad want to do it with you. It's pretty cool. I've done it before. And what happens is the eggshell kind of dissolves in the vinegar. That's what they're going to explain now. It says, how does it work? Eggshells are full of calcium. Say it, calcium. Calcium is what makes the shell so hard. Vinegar makes calcium get soft. If you soak a hard-boiled egg in vinegar long enough, the shell will get so soft it won't break. The egg will bounce. Now that's wild. So if you try that, let me know if it works. Make sure you follow those directions. Up next, funky chickens. Look at this guy. He's cool. Funky chickens. I'm going to read from the side, but I'll look forward. It says, there are hundreds of different kinds of chickens in the world. Some of them, like this crested chicken, look pretty funky. You won't see wild-looking chickens very often because most farmers don't raise them. Farmers want chickens that lay lots of eggs, and most fancy chickens don't lay many eggs. They sure are fun to look at, though. He looks like he needs a haircut. Mrs. Miller has chickens. Maybe we should ask her if she has any funky chickens. Up next, we have a wild world. Wild may be a small word, but it can be used in lots of different ways. How many meanings for wild can you find in this issue? Here are some to get you started. Untamed. Jane studied wild animals in Africa. Fantastic. Dolly had a wild imagination. Out of control. People get sick when germs run wild in their bodies. Extremely stormy. Those dark clouds mean we are in for some wild weather. Extremely enthusiastic. Elena's wild about cats. She's read 7 books about them. Talk about wild weather here. Zap! There's no weather that's flashier than a lightning storm. Lightning bolts are made of electricity. The electricity builds up in the air during stormy weather. Lightning bolts can jump from cloud to cloud, making wild loops and patterns. There have even been lightning bolts over 75 miles long. That's really far. It's like from here all the way up to Philadelphia. So pause the video, go back and read these to yourself or read it in Super Kids Online Fun. Pay special attention to this one, a wild word, because your question is going to have to do with that and writing a couple sentences. Looks like this is going to be a pretty cool issue of Super. You might even say, it's going to be wild. Keep up the good work. Read this to yourself. And make sure to click turn in when you finish your work. And I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is math day. Nice job, friends. All right. Bye, kids.